Race cars, lasers, adventure capitalism? You may know Donald Duck as Mickey Mouse's short-tempered feathered friend, or the face of Disney's imperialism, but has anyone taken a look into his Uncle Scrooge? Well, buckle up, because we're about to dive into tales of daring, do-bad, and good luck tales.
Woo! Endless wealth. It's not all it's quacked up to be. Capitalism in Ducktales. Television, America's favorite modern babysitter. It's a quick and easy way to keep kids entertained and out of trouble. However, a lot of parents fail to evaluate messaging in shows their kids watch.
Concepts presented in media stick with children throughout their lives. Older children's entertainment media featured more violence, substance use, and aggressive language. Research studies have repeatedly shown that children's exposure to media affects them physically, psychologically, and socially. For example, correlations between children watching violence and engaging in violent behavior are well documented. If they believe what they see and hear on television to be true, will such beliefs manifest in their behavior? Furthermore, if violence is transferable from screen to individuals, what else are kids assimilating when they watch TV? Entertainment companies have become increasingly careful with the content and media presented to children throughout the years.
Disney is a trusted household name with a wholesome reputation. Sitting a child in front of the television to watch a Disney show is often second nature, but what are kids actually watching? Disney Plus has made older Disney media with problematic ideology available to impressionable kids. Ducktales is a prime example, especially with its resurgence in cultural relevancy with the recent reboot.
Ducktales was released in 1987 as part of the Disney Afternoon TV block. The show was adapted from comics that followed the same characters, created by Carl Barks, who was an outspoken capitalist. He was quoted as saying, "A little exploitation is something you come by in nature," in an interview about Scrooge McDuck. The show was massively successful, becoming Disney's first syndicated animated TV show and airing in more than 100 countries in 25 different languages.
The original DuckTales series ran from 1987 to 1990, when Donald Duck enlists in the Navy.
But I've already enlisted at the Scrooge. I want to see the world.
He leaves his nephews Huey, Dewey, and Louie in the care of his miserly uncle Scrooge McDuck. Scrooge is a filthy rich millionaire who regularly swims in his money bin full of gold coins. The family embarks on treasure hunts around the world in an attempt to satisfy the insatiable Scrooge's lust for money and adventure.
The 2017 reboot ran for 3 seasons, ending in 2021. Scrooge is now a billionaire.
$1 billion on the ground, all stretched out and uncurled, would extend about 4 times around the circumference of the world.
While Donald is unemployed, living with the nephews on a rundown houseboat. When the nephews' antics cause the boat to explode, they move into McDuck Manor with their estranged Uncle Scrooge. Naturally, they join Scrooge's quest for more fame and fortune.
You want me to count the gold? Maybe go out and spend some gold to make sure it hasn't expired?
The reboot features more themes of family and friendship than the original, and presents a softer side of the money-grubbing Scrooge.
Ronald Reagan was president when DuckTales originally premiered. The show's fixation on Duckburg's economy and the notion of pulling up one's bootstraps reflects the political atmosphere at the time of the show's release. A neoliberal economic policy called Reaganomics was theoretically helping lower economic classes by supporting the Scrooge McDucks of the world with a trickle-down effect. Free enterprise was in the air and a free market economy was all the rage. Workers' wages dropped while tax dollars poured into military and defense spending.
The superstructure in Duckburg is almost entirely run by Scrooge's relations with the proletariat class. In the original series, Scrooge has less of an impact on the well-being of society, amassing all his wealth for himself. In the reboot, Scrooge is responsible for forward-thinking and innovation in Duckburg. He takes members of the proletariat under his wing. Ha-ha. Get it? Especially in the case of Webby, his housekeeper's granddaughter that he allows to live in his house. Scrooge appears to be a benevolent protector of those less fortunate than him. However, if he was truly benevolent, would he have a vault of gold sitting idle while his nephew Donald struggles to raise Huey, Dewey, and Louie alone after the disappearance of their mother? Which Scrooge is responsible for, by the way.
As shown in the original series, many members of Scrooge's community rely on him. He is their landlord, major employer, and driving force of Duckburg's economy.
Business is good, thanks.
Glad to hear it. Then you won't mind a rent increase.
Would you loan me some money to make our ship shape?
Certainly. What are rich friends for? Now then, What can you put up as security on the loan? Have change for $1,000 bill?
Of course not.
Maybe next time, then.
People depend on Scrooge for their financial stability at the whim of his miserly behavior.
Capitalist ideology is the fuel that powers the plot of almost every episode across both series. While Scrooge's insatiable lust for wealth takes a backseat in the reboot, it still looms over the McDuck family, affecting how they interact with each other and the world. In the episode titled Once Upon a Dime, Scrooge continuously acquires more money yet never finds a sense of satisfaction with his wealth. He tows the nephews along, stating that having a family to share my wealth with makes me truly rich, proceeding to take them for a dip in the money bin. Not only does he push capitalistic narratives with his nephews, but he also pushes them with viewers of the show.
Scrooge's mantra of work smarter, not harder permeates the first series. Scrooge deserves his money because he earned it fair and square. However, under capitalism, mass accumulation of wealth requires exploitation and inequality. This pushes the false consciousness belief that one can make it big and maintain sound ethics.
Reaganomics and neoliberal attitudes echo throughout both series, but especially within the first one. As signified by Scrooge's importance to the financial stability of Duckburg, the show ascribes to the belief of trickle-down economics. It's okay that Scrooge is filthy rich because it trickles down to his surrounding community via wages. Never mind the fact that you don't see anybody else swimming in money. Inside and out of the Ducktales canon, Scrooge McDuck is often referred to as an adventure capitalist due to the global nature of his conquests and a play on venture capitalism. However, he's not primarily a venture capitalist since he obtained his fortunes through a gold rush and not investments. He is, quite literally, an adventure capitalist, gaining wealth by going to foreign lands and uncovering hidden treasures. Wait.
Working class individuals are barely visible in the series outside of a handful of Scrooge's employees. The nephews and 3 employees carry out the grunt work, allowing Scrooge to enjoy a life of leisure and feigned hard work. Furthermore, infighting between the nephews distracts them from reality. In the reboot's episode titled The Infernal Internship of Mark Beeks, Huey and Dewey compete for an internship with a deceptive tech CEO. Rather than realizing that they are being used to help the CEO get into the Billionaires Club, Huey works extra hard while Dewey freeloads.
The suggestion that anyone can be successful as long as they work hard is a message that contributes to capitalist false consciousness. Scenarios on the show affirm Scrooge's privilege to do as he pleases simply because he is wealthy. Scrooge also continually puts down his enemies, who, like him, want to become richer, but are immoral in their act because they do not have the same luck and optics as the well-put-together Scrooge.
Imperialism is evident in the show as the McDuck family exploits other cultures on their adventures, stealing valuable treasures and artifacts from places around the world without considering the ramifications. In the second episode of the reboot, Scrooge takes the nephews on a quest to retrieve the gem of Atlantis. While they justify acquiring the gem with an explanation that it will provide years of clean power to Duckburg, they're still stealing an ancient artifact from a lost culture.
The struggle between the base and superstructure, power structures, capitalist ideologies, neoliberalism, exploitation of labor, false consciousness, imperialism. Karl Marx would have had a field day with this show.
While Ducktales doesn't directly quote Ayn Rand, they are certainly upholding common concepts within capitalist ideology, presenting them as harmless and even beneficial.
So why should you care about Scrooge McDuck? He isn't a real tycoon, and this is a Disney cartoon, for crying out loud. You should care because kids are unable to fully evaluate subtext in media. They are highly impressionable, and they can't differentiate between fantasy and reality the way adults do. The bottom line is that if their favorite character happens to be exploiting children for labor, they may not realize that it's a bad thing.
We want to be rich and selfish too.
Children's media is valuable and life-shaping. It alters kids' perspectives on the world. Next time you watch a show like Ducktales, remember that endless wealth ain't all it's quacked up to be.
A luxury you can't live without.
I like nice socks.
Socks. Your socks, would you put in your shoes?
Yeah, I really love them. I like kind of like, you know, cozy feet.
You're attracted to your socks.
I'm attracted to really nice running socks. Like, I'm always looking for good running socks.
That's not a luxury, though. Coffee and socks are not a luxury.
All right, give me a luxury. What luxury should I have?
Private plane.
Larry, I'm on Ducktales.